Joining me now, Walser Wealth Management President Rebecca Walser and Fox Business correspondent Madison Alworth. So obviously that wasn't Trump yesterday at the Economic Club, but it was. I mean, when the guy from Bloomberg was like, "Oh, you've got a bunch of businessmen here, and everyone's betting against you." I mean, Rebecca, what bothers me the most is there's this whole narrative that Trump he has a war against experts. I think we all have a war against experts, but the notion that tariffs never worked, I think, is wrong. I can show you points in history that it did, but the fact that it won't, I think you can argue that it has already. Look at China's economy.
Well, the fact that the Biden administration followed Trump's lead and actually added a bunch of tariffs, they can't argue that it doesn't work and then it's going to cause inflation and cause a problem. And, you get tired of these holier-than-thou people talking about we're the experts. If we learned anything from coronavirus in 2020, it should be that everything should be questioned, right, including the experts.
Right, especially the experts.
Especially them.
You know what it is, Madison? I believe in science. I just believe scientists are human beings. I believe economists are human beings. And I've seen left-leaning economists. I think almost 99% of labor economists are left-leaning. Yeah. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So personality gets in the way of the science sometimes.
Absolutely. And of course, people want to be right. So if you have a theory, you're going to push that theory. But I think that clip is great. And the exchange yesterday was great because it's a perfect example of theory versus practice. You can say we ran the numbers and here's what happened, but let's just look at what's been happening under the U.S. Clearly, the Trump tariffs in many ways work, which is why Biden-Harris continued them. And then the reality is we did offshore a ton of talent and a ton of manufacturing. American companies can't compete against China when they're making, charging and paying their workers $3 an hour. Right. So you need to make it a little more fair. Tariffs for those that are not going to treat their workers well so that America can compete. Yeah. That's a good thing.
And we're the biggest economy in the world, so we need to flex our muscle while we can.
Yeah.
All right, another big issue is that paying fair share. That companies don't pay their fair share, they evade taxes and everything. This comes out every Monday. I don't know why a lot of folks didn't talk about it. It's the tax gap. So the taxes that weren't paid were 2.7% of GDP, down from 2001, where it was as high as 3.3%. Rebecca, this is your area, right? So you're not your head, right? Because you've helped a lot of people evade taxes. I'm just
legally. Legally. All legal.
But of all of the taxes, right, the estimated tax liability was $4.6 trillion.
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing from corporations is $127 billion. Do we need 80,000 people to go after this $127 billion?
This is a talking point that you hear every election cycle, because what they're really saying is we don't have enough tax revenue and we need more, so we're going to blame it on the people that have wealth and the people that aren't paying. But the truth is, as you're pointing out, the voluntary compliance is so high that is not the issue. The issue is that they don't collect, or that we collect $4.6 trillion and our budget is $7.7 trillion.
Right.
So that's the issue.
And the day we collect $7.7 trillion, our budget will be
$12 trillion.
Thank you.
She said it all. What else am I going to possibly add to that? I mean, it's in the numbers, and Rebecca said it all.
All right, so let's talk about this. This is a crazy story. So there's a guru who says he can get your 11-year-old into Harvard. 29-year-old guy from New Zealand. He's put some program together, but apparently it really, really works, and he charges up to $200,000. They say families with incomes over $500,000, 48% of them have used a system like this to help get their kids into college. This is coming off the heels of that big college scandal, but also the idea of meritocracy to get in schools.
Yeah, I mean, the question is what is fair? And it's so hard because I'd like to believe that in America, if you work hard enough, you can get anywhere. And look, I went to Yale. I was really proud to go to a school like that. We did not pay a counselor, but I went to a public high school that had the IB program, which was an incredible program and really got me where I needed to go.
Yes.
But if the bar continues to move up, that you need to pay someone to coach you through a process that you were supposed to do during your junior year that anyone could accomplish, it does make me question what's fair. And I want to be in a system and in a meritocracy where anyone can get, if they work hard enough, can get to that next level.
I would, we've had celebrities go to jail because they paid to get their kid that maybe couldn't get into an Ivy League. But the truth is, I want to see the ROI on that, Charles. I want to see if you put $200,000 in to get your kid into Harvard, do they make that much more over their lifetime? Really, if they went to Harvard versus NYU, like where I went to NYU Law? I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, I don't know.
It seems like a lot for what is the return. I get that.
Well, this guy has raised $75 million in venture funds to set up 26 offices in 21 countries. So Wall Street believes that that people are going to pay, this is for rich people.
Is that a good appointment?
So listen, if you're not rich, though, I got something for you. Okay,
good.
Amazon's been selling these luxury circular tiny homes. Look at these things. Now, that's the view. It looks kind of cool. 200 square feet, $19,900. And Rebecca, they're sold out, so you're going to have to wait for the next batch.
I need one to put it on my house, my lot right now, where all my house is underwater, in Florida, in Tampa. I want one right now. This is sold. I can see the simplicity in this, and I love it.
But you're talking about as an add-on. Like, you know,
Yeah, right.
you want to buy, like, the person who buys a shed.
For me, this would be my house.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, look, I live in one of these. It's just a New York City apartment, and let me tell you, if I wanted to buy it, it wouldn't be $20,000.
That's so true.
But there is a real trend. I have a couple friends that have done the van life, where you sell all your belongings and you just kind of pack into a small space. Amazon has it all figured out. They know how to get your dollar. They see the tiny home trend. And clearly, it's sold out.
$19,900, though. I mean, you can save a lot of money. We talk on this show all the time about things you can do to save money. If you bought one of these houses and you were disciplined, you can squirrel away a lot of money.
Well, let me just tell you, after the hurricane and everything that's happened to Florida this year, I can say downsizing and simplifying is such a smart trend, and I can see why there's a market for this. And so, yeah, I think that Amazon is on the right path here.
But land is expensive, and you have to put this on land.
You have to put this on land, and I think
Not in New York City.
You got to get floaters insurance or something like that. On
Oh, definitely flood insurance. Trust me.
So before we go, we got retail sales tomorrow. Everyone's kind of talking about mixed messages with the economy. From your vantage point, Rebecca, where do you think? Where are we right now? Because I see a lot of signs. I just went over some that the economy is really. You know, I just think we've got very rich people who can pay a kid $200,000 to get their kid in Ivy League, and everyone else who's trying to wonder if they need to buy 2 or 3 of these and knock them together for a house, you know?
Definitely an isolated economy between the have and the have-nots, and I will just say that I would have thought that we would have had massive upheaval by now. It hasn't happened, so that just means that the economy and the stimulus of central banks can last a very long time.
My concern also, when we look at these numbers that are going to come out, we have to keep in mind